have a more rounded, history of how life was in the different regions of our Garifuna communities. So I am honored to have Mr. Melecio Gonzalez here today. He's going to talk about his perspective on Garifuna life and culture and things that are going on, right now in the community that's affecting our people as well. So thank you for being here, and I am so happy for you.
Let me add one about Garifuna history from Honduras perspective. Okay, present with me here today as my guest is my wife, Angela. Two of my grandchildren, Mario and so much has been saying about the history of Garifuna people in Honduras. For any given reason, or maybe because the diversity of the resources, we tend to confuse some of the information, basic information about our history. I want you to take in consideration those three important dates. So many things and so many times our people says that we arrived to Honduras on the April 12th of 1797, which is not correct. The history says that when we arrived to Roatan Island on this date, Roatan Island was British Dominion, not Honduran Dominion.
That's right.
The Roatan Island became Honduran Dominion on April 24, 1861. So consequently, the Garifuna arrived to Honduras on May 17, 1797, when we arrived to Trujillo.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It was British.
It's then when we arrived to Honduras. When we arrived to Trujillo on May 17, 1797. Okay, another issue I would like to discuss with you guys today. In Honduras, because the type of Spanish we spoke, there is so many contradiction when we say Garifuna, we say Moreno, and we say black. I would like you to distinguish our historians in Honduras and those who call themselves leaders. They want to monopolize or commercialize the information about Garifuna. They would say, for instance, that this was the date we arrived to Honduras, which is correct. But while they are saying that, they will also say that that was the date the black people arrived to Honduras, which is incorrect.
Right.
I will give you guys some data which indicates that by the time the Garifuna arrived to Honduras, there have been at least 4 groups of black people coming to Honduras since Columbus' trip to Honduras. I'll give you the data with names and things like that. Another confusion they have in Honduras is that they combine, or they want to use as synonym race and ethnicity. When they start speaking about Garifuna ethnicity, they end up saying Garifuna race, which is not the same thing. Race is one, ethnicity is different one.
Viittymät läävä.
Oh, okay. Who came who landed in Honduras, it was in the Christopher Columbus crew, and his name was Pedro Alonso Niño. The second group of Garifuna arrived to Honduras. It was possibly on 1525 in the crew of Hernán Cortés when they founded Puerto Cortés. They continued to Triunfo de la Cruz and landed in Trujillo, where Trujillo was founded on May 18, 1525.
May
May 18.
May 18.
Mingo y Rubén, por favor.
What year,
Me
please?
ayudan, ¿ok?
What year? May 18. 18.
May 18, 1525.
1525.
Yes. By 1640, there were a lot of black people in the coast of Mosquitos, which is called today Mosquitia. The largest group we have documented is the group which arrived from Cuba on 1660. That group was spread between Trujillo, San Pedro Sula, Olancho, Comayagua, Tegucigalpa, and Gracias. Of course, the government of Honduras has learned to manipulate that information to the point that even though the majority of those places which I just mentioned to you, which is 10 out of 18 departments in Honduras, the majority of the population have African feature. But just because the skin is lighter, they consider themselves white. Okay? For instance, my wife, for skin, for instance, if she would be living inland in Honduras, she will be considered a white person. And I will be the one black. I am the one moreno, or trigueño, and she will be white in Honduras. So that is why there is no way how to determine the classification of the population in Honduras. There is no statistics, how much black they are, how much mestizos, and how much white or whatever they want to call it, even though I can assure that there is no more than 2% of Honduran population to be white.
That's right.
There is no more than 2%, if no more than that. Why and how? If you guys travel through Honduras, from one end and one coast to another, you will see that the majority of the people are dark skinned. And that mixture, which is supposed to be Indian and black, in Spanish is called Sambo.
Sambo, yeah.
That is correct Spanish. The denomination of those people. The Indian and the black. But don't be surprised, people, that this denomination of Indio is an historical mistake. Okay? That's Christopher Columbus' mistake. Christopher Columbus died believing that when he arrived to this land, he was arriving to La India in Asia. So he was so ignorant historically and geographically that he believes that he arrived to La India. So because he believed that, he called those people Indian or Indio, which was a mistake. So that historical mistake remains today, confusing people.
Yep.
Do you understand that? Okay. So we arrived in 1797, and the another group of people, black people coming to Honduras, it was around 1985 to 1990 on, brought by the Bananas Company from the Caribbean islands.
1995 or 1895?
18.
Okay. So those people from those Caribbean islands, they have British name, English name. You will say Borden, Smith,
Leiden.
Kent.
Lewis.
Clark.
Alright. So they are